Good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan, and this session will be over the tiles, which are a reporting metric that you can use in Oasis. We'll be getting started around now. This is going to be recorded, so if anybody that's registered, if you'd like, we can also send the video after we've completed it. Inside of the chat, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in there, and we will get to them when we have time at the end. And we're getting ready to get started. So today's session is going to be over tiles. I'm going to focus mainly on the web. That's what I have access to right now. When you first log into O4, if you have O4, you can get to it through your link. When you go to the home page, any tiles that you have created will be able to show on this home page here whenever you log in. Inside of the desktop version of Oasis, when you open it up, the second link underneath the homepage will be the O4 dashboard. If you open that, that will be where you'll be able to create tiles inside of your Oasis if you do not have O4. There are a few tiles that we'll be focusing on this morning. We're going to do the bid board tile, the order summary tile, and then the goal tiles and the win-loss tile. Inside of the menu, if you click on the tiles menu up here at the top, which will also be available in the O4 dashboard, you'll have two options, either create or edit. If you click the create button, it's going to list the tiles that you have access to. These tiles are not quite ready yet, so they're not available for everybody. They're in beta testing. So unfortunately, you won't see those unless you are a beta group with the proper access. I'm going to start out with the bid board tile. When I click on it, it's going to take us to the creation window. Here we can give this tile a name. What this is designed to do is going to show the quotes that are on your bid board. So similar to what is on the home screen bid board. This relies on the checkbox inside of a project on the general tab that says show on bid board. If I leave the name blank, it's just going to put it as default bid board. You can change the location so it doesn't show up on the home page. You can have it show up on a different page. For now, we'll leave it on the home page. The next option is the who should see this tile. It's who you are creating this tile for. If I leave this blank, it's only going to create it for yourself. It'll just be for your user. However, you can come in and begin typing in names that are in your database, and it will go out and find them in your user list, and it'll allow that user to be able to see this tile. You can add multiple users to each of these tiles. This is also a feature that we are working on. I don't believe it is available to everybody right now, but it's an email that can send out. As long as the users that are on here have an email set up on their user account, they can receive an alert whenever the bid board is altered. The visible fields indicate what information is going to be displayed on the tiles or the bids themselves inside of it. You can always get more information after clicking into it, but this is what will be seen outside on the glance view. If there are any information that you want to be able to see on the summary view before you click into the bid tile itself, this is where you would control what information is displayed. Under calculation details, you have the filter option. This is where you can designate what information you want to see other than just all bids that are clicked on the bid board. You can look for bids only in a specific status by typing in of a specific rank, only ones that have a certain CSR, sales account, quota, customers or specifiers. You can look at them and then break these tiles down for just the users. So that way they can only see their information if that's the way you'd like to create it. So if I wanted to create it where only I was the quoter, I could put in my name. This is going to create a bid board that's only going to show the bids where I am the quoter. In this specific database, I don't have any, so I'm going to leave this blank. but it will allow the quotes to show regardless of who the quoter is, but I can filter down if it is something that I needed. After you've put in the information or any filters that you're looking for, you can click the Save button. It will then take you back to the home page and it will show you where it is creating that new tile. It'll take it just a few minutes. And then the next time you refresh, it should actually build a tile that has the information. This is one that I created earlier. So we can see that there are 2 bids on the bid board, total of the value and the earnings. But if I click on the tile, it's going to open it up and we will see the 2 different bids that it mentioned on the top with the information that we had selected. Because I didn't select any information, there's none previewed out on the onset, but I can click into here and get additional details as needed. So this would take me to the 04 bid screen where I can see the information. So the general project information, valuations, dollar totals, any attachments that are connected to this, and also the bill of material. So as we see, the second one that I created didn't take long, and it is now visible and available. And if I had selected for other users, they would be able to see this tile as well. When you have a lot of bids on the bid board, you have 2 separate views. You have the cards view where it breaks into these boxes here, or we can change it over to the table view, which is the listing view. We'll let you see side by side what information is on those bids. And in the same way, I can click on here and it will open that project or quote and allow me to see more details. Continuing with the quote side of the tiles, we're going to go to the win-loss tile. This is where you can see a customer success rate based on your quote statuses inside of your orders or inside of your projects and quotes. To create that, same way, tiles, and then create menu, and select the win-loss. The only additional option under the details is that on this one, you can check this box to not create it for yourself. If I do check this box and I don't have anybody in here, it will still create it for yourself when you save it. However, if I have any other users in here, it will create it only for those users and not for yourself. This is good if you're creating it for a principal or somebody that doesn't necessarily want to create it for themselves, but you'd like to create it for it, but you don't want to clutter your homepage up. Under the calculation details, this is where you're going to indicate what information you want to see. The offset months, it's the win-loss tile is always going to go back a year based on this offset that you have. So if I have this 3 set as 3, it's going to go back 3 months from today's date that it's being created. So today it's in October. So it will go back to July. And then it's going to go July 2020 to July 2021 and show that data offset by 3 months. The reason the offset is there is because many of your quotes within being first created aren't going to be in a quote status. So it could inflate your unknown quotes by leaving in things that are entered in today. You obviously aren't going to win or lose them most of the time within that set of period. You can adjust it based on your agency's needs. Some of them may have a faster turnaround than others. Some of them may be slower, so you can adjust this as needed. You can choose to use the original bid date. So it's going to go off of the first bid date that was created for that project. If the bid date is changed, it will continue to use the original bid date as far as the offset months. And then you can choose which price value you want to display. the sell value, level 1, level 2, or level 3, depending on what you primarily use in quoting to your customers, is the one that you would want to select for the display value. In the next field, you have the minimum value and the maximum value. This allows you to put in thresholds for which quotes you want to show up on this. If you're not worried about all your quotes under $10,000, you can put in a minimum value of 10,000, and then all the quote values would have to exceed that before they would show up on the win-loss tile. The same with the maximum. If you only wanted to do it within a range, you would just place the value that you would want to track. Under filters, this is where you can eliminate specific information or filter down to just the information that you want, whether it's the specific project rank or quota, sales accounts, specific customers or manufacturers, contractors or specifiers. And then line level, you can get into the manufacturer or the parent manufacturer. And then just like the bid board tile, when you are ready, if you've named it or changed anything that you need, click the save button, and it will then begin creating it. When it creates, you'll see a tile that has specific information based on the details that were set. Any of these blue links that you click, you'll be able to get in here and get more details. But this is at a glance what information you'll be able to see. Within that time period in this database, 56% of the jobs have been won, 4% have been lost, and 40% are still in an unknown state. The known and unknown states are based on the quote statuses, which would be set up under the project configuration. So an admin would need to go on the main screen of Oasis, go to projects, and then file, configuration. And then there's a tab that says quote statuses. And under that will be columns where you can list whether it is a known, unknown, or one that you wish to ignore. Some of them will already be filled out because there are some that are defaulted to these statuses. Quoted is default as unknown, closed is default as ignored, and lost is defaulted as lost. But you can adjust based on any other quote statuses you may have in your database. When we click into here, we can get more details. In here with no filters, if we're just looking at the win, we can see which quotes we have and the value that they were done. This is based on the top 50 customers, but we can adjust the values that we're seeing by specifiers, by manufacturer, quoters, ranks, anything that we would want to see. Even if we just want to see the top 50 quotes, we can see that information. Hovering over it will give you a little bit more details, but it breaks this down in a visual to allow you to do that. And we can also switch over to any of the other views by just clicking the tab up at the top. Those are the tiles that are available currently for the projects and quote section. I am now going to move on to the orders. We have the goal tiles where you can set up specific goals for either manufacturers, just your sales accounts, or just your database in general. At a glance, based on the values that you put in there, when you look at the tile, it's going to give you a speedometer, which will give you an idea of where you are at meeting that goal. You want to try to stay above the red. So if this was a time frame for a year, and so if we did January 1st to December 31st of this year, and whatever value we were trying to make, as time progresses, the closer we get to being at the December 31st is where we're at. We are 84% of our goal. And based on time, we should be at least at 82%. So in this instance, we have met the goal. In this example, this was a goal that I had set for the previous year. We did not meet the goal, so it stayed red, showing that we did not obtain what we were after. To create the tile, we'll go back to the Create menu. We're going to click on the Order Summary Goal. We would give the goal a name, same information where we would want to see it. For the calculation details, this is where we would put in the time frame for this goal, where we want the goal to pull from. Do we want it to pull from the sell price, from net price, or from your territory sell or net price? Here you would put in your actual goal, the value that you are trying to obtain, and any additional amount that you might want to add into that, just as something to strive for as well. Your filters will operate very similar to what it did in the quote tiles. You can put in the people, narrow it down to just specific ones. So if a specific salesperson has a goal that you want them to meet, you can create this goal just for them. You can also do it by manufacturer. Again, we would hit the save button and then it would create that tile. I'm just going to go back and go into one of these goals. When we click into it, we can see the goal that was set and then the stretch goal and where we are towards making that goal. We can look based on manufacturers, sort this out by any of the transactions, anything that we were looking for. We would see those totals as we go and how close we are to obtaining it. If we double click on any of the items that we have here, it will allow us to filter down to just that value that we selected. And then we can change and see the transactions that have been filtered to just that manufacturer or customers or anything else that we wanted to look at. If we wanted to go back, we can just uncheck the filter and it will bring it back all of the results. So again, to get back to the tile screen inside of an O4, we'll go to the menu here, and on the home screen is where we have access to create the tiles. And if you were in the desktop version of Oasis, you would click on the O4 dashboard button on the main screen of Oasis. The next tile we're going to look at is the order summary tile. This tile is going to break down your orders based on what you have today, this week, or this month. And it will show you whether you are up or down compared to last year for the same time period. Tiles, create. And it is the order summary. On this one, this allows you to have the option whether you want to show the earnings or not. Some agencies do not want all of their users to be able to see the earnings. So if this is something you wish to hide, you just check this box. Or if you do not check the box, and then it won't show it. If you wish to show the earnings, you would check the box. Sell value, you can choose whether you're getting it from the sell price or your territory sales price if you have any splits on your orders. Filters will work the same way. This will just narrow down to the information that you wish to see. Then in here, we can click into any of these sections and we will see the information that has been filtered down for that information. So under here, we've made $600 this week. Only one vendor or one manufacturer, but we can adjust, see the different transactions. Happens to only be one. We go to the month. This just gives you a quick overview of the orders that have been entered. The arrow that we see shows that we are down this month versus this month of last year. We have not made as much as we did the year prior. When this tile is created, this one has the ability to see monthly snapshots. This will let you see what it looked like month over month. But because I created it recently, I don't have other months to see. But normally you would see this after it's created. As it trails on, you can see a summary of how you've been doing over a longer period of time. This is the basic functions, the covers of the tiles that are inside of Oasis. They're available from the desktop version or on 04 if you have 04. I'm going to open it up the floor to any questions. Is there anything specific I could assist you with? So we have a question to show the bid board output. I'll click back into that again. In this database, I only have two bids that are on my bid board. So obviously, in your databases, you'll probably have much more. You have two different options that you can see based on the view. There's the card view, where you'll see just the basic information that you have here. Or you can do the table view, where you will see a listing of the different quotes that are in there, both of which you can click into. I don't have an example of the email that is sent out, so I'm not able to show that. And you say you don't have a tile button on your online platform. Is that not, you don't have a tile option here on your home screen?
All right, Ryan, she said correct, it is only on her Oasis, and I am assuming she's referring to Legacy Oasis. If you have the 04 version and you're not seeing that tiles button, send in a ticket and we can take a look and make sure that you're on the updated version of 04 to see if that shows for you.
Yeah, the ability to create tiles from the web was just recently added. So you may not be updated just yet. And then as far as a reason why the 04 dashboard tiles and the tiles online don't match, that is something else that we would recommend opening a ticket on, so we can see if maybe something is going on with the sync process between the 04 server and your local server.
If you're referring to the look of the tiles versus if it's information, then yes, I would recommend sending in a ticket so we could dig into that. But if it's just about the way they look, the reason they look different is because on the web, the tiles actually, the graphs associated with the tiles work a little bit better because we can do a bit more on the web browser version of it. We can do a lot more interactive than what we can do in Legacy Oasis. There's also another question that says, will the original version always be available, or will 04 eventually be the default? And Ryan, I can answer that if you like.
Sure.
So We will have Legacy Oasis, and that is your desktop application. You'll hear me refer to it as Legacy. We will have Legacy Oasis available to our customers. We understand you've been using it for a long time and we don't want to take that away from you. However, all of the new features will be implemented in 04. Now, if something's not working, we will fix it because we don't want to stop anybody's ability to work. But as for new features and feature requests, they will be implemented in 04.
In the order summary, is there a way to drill down to the job name? So we click into here. So based on the 50 transactions that I've gone through the filter here, I can see the order that I have. And by double clicking on it, I can actually go into that order and I will see the information that is available, including the PO number and the job name, which happens to be the same in this case, the customer, and any information that is available to it. Inside of the tile details, you are always able to drill down further to see the information. Yeah, if you do not have that option, just send in a ticket and we will work to get that updated and figure out how we can solve that issue.
Are there any more questions or anything we didn't get to? And just know if you registered for this webinar, once this video is available on YouTube, you'll get an email with a YouTube link. If you didn't register, it's not a big deal. We will make a social post once this is available on YouTube.
All right. Well, I thank everybody for their time. I'll stay on for just a few minutes more if we've got more questions. If not, if you have any other questions later, feel free to send it into our support line or give us a call. We are happy to assist.